Hello, I'm Reginald Grant, and welcome to Cannabis Pitch Live. Thank you so much for joining us today. The cannabis industry, CBD, medical marijuana, is being assaulted. When I say being assaulted, there's a great article I read this week in Quartz. Does the cannabis industry have a monopoly problem? The Department of Justice has been investigating the cannabis industry, and 29% of the resources will be directed towards the industry, even though we are 2% of the business that's going on in the country. It was absolutely amazing on mergers that were happening. 2% of mergers, and it's all because our current Attorney General, William Barr, ordered the investigation into 10 cannabis mergers for 2019. It's amazing how politicized things are, but it also highlights the fact that when the industry is about to go mainstream, it is under the microscope. So that means there's a lot of money to be made in this industry, in this sector, and you need to get on board, figure out your path and your lane, and how you're going to monetize this process. On that note, I'll send it over to something a little bit more positive. Chef Nikko, the man, the myth, the legend, the private celebrity chef that just does it all. Every time it comes in here, I get hungry again. I just ate, so I wouldn't be hungry after he comes in and shows us what he has. So, again, I'm Reginald Grant. I don't smoke weed, but I am a capitalist. So, on that note, we're tuning it over to the food segment. Celebrity private chef Nikko, it's all yours, buddy.
All right, how's everybody doing today? All right, so Celebrity Chef Nikko, we're here cooking with terpenes. We're basically putting nutrition together with all this amazing cannabis, and well, we're going to put some nutritional literacy onto the board. So, as always, whether you've tuned into other episodes or not, the most important thing first is to display the whole setup that is plant-based before you place anything. And today we're going to be working with lobster ravioli. So the first thing that you see here is a coconut sweet potato gastrique, and then we have a goji berry green bean chutney, and then we have these wonderful zucchini swirls with a few dots of roasted red pepper sauce. So now, what does this mean in the nature of terpenes? Anything that is green is loaded with vitamin A. Terpenes is vitamin A. Anything that is loaded with beta carotene is loaded with vitamin A, which is loaded with terpenes. So the amazing value of how all of this can be dosed with an extract. So for example, you use the coconut oil to go with the sweet potato gastrique. You can now put your coconut sativa concentrate into that and dose that up. By the time this whole plate is done, you'll be looking at about 325 milligrams. In the nature of microdosing, you give a little bit of dosage at a time. So I'm just going to place these raviolis right over the gastrique onto the chutney and finish up this plate. Now, the nice part about this is that there is an opportunity to make this dose even stronger if you choose. Now that only happens if you have the experience with that. If you do not have the experience, please remember to take it less. You want to go a very low dose and go slow with that low dose. So the mantra is low and slow. Check yourself, see what happens. You want that experience. You want some of those anti-inflammatory properties. You want some of those healthy aspects of cannabis. Why? Because cannabis is a plant. Before it does anything psychoactive and you activate it by heating it up and bringing Delta-9 into the psychoactive mix of it, it is a superfood. So that's what we're working with. We're making sure that that's done well. Now we're just going to place a few other terpenes, fresh terpenes, which would be your thyme sprigs. We're just going to place this right here in between, finish it off with a little bit of cracked pepper, and here we go. Very simple, very easy. 6-inch sprig. And there we go. So we're right back at it again with another wonderful plated cooking with terpenes. You have your lobster ravioli with the green bean goji berry chutney. You have the coconut sweet potato gastrique, your zucchini swirls. And just to cover on the zucchini, the reason why I have this as a raw is because I'm promoting phytonutrients, specifically coming from the zucchini, because zucchini is high in nitric oxide, and that is a gas that will go into your body organically and open up your blood vessels, creating good blood circulation. We need that if we're smokers. We need that even if we're just consuming the edible portion of it. Why? Because we want to make sure that this powerful concentrate is moving through the body, doesn't get stuck anywhere. That's on a nutritional level. That's another way that you can have a bad experience with cannabis. If your body has a lot of toxins in it, do not expect cannabis to work for you. It's going to have its backup issues. So, you have these wonderful plant-based elements that make all this go well. If you don't want to do a lobster ravioli, a cheese ravioli is fine, mushroom ravioli is fine. There are so many varieties. I just wanted to highlight a fun, tasty shellfish during some of these hot seasons, and this is how it goes. So once again, a real nice, wonderful look at this lobster ravioli, cooking with terpenes, and there we go. So we're in good shape. So now, if there are any types of questions, it's always good to ask right now. If not, I'm just going to jump into this and just go into a deeper dive on how this came about to be 325 milligrams. So in the nature of microdosing, you basically want to break up the 300 milligram part, and then you can dose the 25 milligram a little bit later, meaning that the maximum amount for the goji berry chutney would be about 100. Talk to me. Okay. It's going to be about 100 to 105 milligrams for the chutney. Same thing with the sweet potato gastrique. You want to make sure that you're touching about 100 to 105. So when you do the math, it's about 325. And just remember, it's milligrams. Even though I'm saying 325, that is a medium, mild, nice, flowing experience when it comes to an edible. Just our conversions, 1 gram equals 1,000 milligrams. So there goes your margin right there. So at 325, you're not even close to 1,000 milligrams. So you won't get thrown over. And this is why we want to do a lot more conscious, educated actions when it comes to microdosing on your edibles when it comes time to dosing your food. Because, well, it's a great plate of dinner, and you can always have fun with that, and you can bring a little more zest to the table by adding some of those extraction properties. The extraction property that I'm specifically working with are flowers and terpenes. I'm not using any other extracts, so it would make it a little bit easier for me to decarb the herb at about 240 degrees, maybe 15, 20 minutes. And then when it's time to infuse it into the coconut oil, we want to make sure, or grass-fed butter or olive oil, but for me specifically, I'm using the coconut oil. I want to look for a coconut oil that is cold pressed and organic. Why cold pressed? No heat was put to this element, thus keeping all of the coconut terpenes. Once again, terpenes are the scent that comes from plant-based elements. They're used to either attract or repel other things interacting with them. When I say other things, it could be insects, it could be people, it could be four-legged animals, animals with wings. It doesn't matter. These are chemical sensories that actually meet us, greet us, or repel us. So in the nature of the coconut oil, you want it cold pressed to have all of that phytonutrients. Phytonutrients and phytoterpenes are the exact same thing. They literally mean the same thing. Phyto means plant, so we want to make sure that we're just understanding that some of these words that may sound easy, they are easy. Phyto just means plant. So when we're putting this all together, your coconut oil is warmed very low You do not want to disturb any of the active compounds of what you've already decarbed. Once you have warmed the oil, now at that point, it stays at that warm temperature. And you literally have it going at that warm temperature for about 8 hours. That will produce a very even, smooth flow of the extraction from the decarbed flowers, and now that goes into the oil. That's a heated infusion. Okay, so there are other ways of doing it. There's tinctures and so on, but we're just going to start off nice and easy, real simple, just the way somebody would want to do a batch of brownies. It's the same process. You have to first extract that compound after you decarb it and make sure that that active compound is at its highest quality. So once again, even when it comes to extractions, you want to do slow and low. Very interesting that you want to do the same thing with dosing. You want to dose slow and low. So the plant's kind of guiding you when it comes to making the extraction. And then at that point, you just combine this, make a wonderful plate. Doesn't have to be as fancy as mine. It could just be something that tastes great. And there you go. You got everything in one plate. You're getting all of your plant-based education. You're actually having a good time with your extractions. And for those that are beginners, it may seem even nerdy to do it, but chart your experience. Say at this time, this is when I decided to do it. Hey, after hour 1, after hour 2, just write down, felt great, or needs to adjust, feel a little bit too much, whatever it is. You only got to chart maybe 1 or 2 times. Your brain is smart. You'll figure it out after that, but it helps set the tone for your experience. If you set alarms and if you set things in your calendar, there's nothing wrong with setting a great experience with terpenes, because that's exactly what you want when it comes to enjoying a great meal, enjoying cannabis, and making sure that you actually have the education to continue and bring others to enjoy as well. So there we go. That's about it for Cooking with Terpenes. Real simple dish. You guys can do it at home, and if need be, always reach out to me and I can get you guys the recipe. And there we go.
Thank you so much, Chef Nikko. It looks so appealing. I want to eat some of that ravioli right now.
I'm going to bring it right up here. Once again, we'll get another good look at it.
Any questions before we move on? Leroy, welcome. Thank you so much, Chef.
All right, absolutely.
Mr. Gambrell. You have a project you want to share with us. You know, everybody will be launching Chef Nikko's 1 hour weekly cooking show. So it'll be 1 hour focused on the food, the experience, and educating people about how to effectively and healthily microdose so that you can enjoy the experience and put yourself in a better position. Mr. Gambrell, you had some new business things that's happening around you, and we'll just go around the room right quick. Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about projects you're working on. What's going on?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Leroy Gambrell II. I'm currently in Bonanza, Oregon. I'm heading up a project for 130 acres. We just broke ground last week. We have 130 acres. We'll be producing CBD and CBG.
Outstanding. You know, I went to the University of Oregon, so I might have a few people up there I might be able to connect the dots with you on. So,
hey, listen, we're gonna talk offline. We're gonna talk offline, good brother, because in order to understood, I had to get boots on the ground. And it's one thing to have an understanding and virtual understanding and phone calls, but it's another thing to actually have boots on the ground and have an understanding. So I'm just thankful, I'm fortunate, and we're just moving forward. About 18 days in on this project, so I'm looking forward to it, and it's very rewarding as well.
Outstanding. Gaetano, tell us about your business and what big project you're working on.
Sure. Thank you, Reggie.
Leroy, a question real quick.
Quickly, please. Go ahead. Take your time. Go ahead, Zenobia.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was just gonna ask, are you documenting this by taking little video vignettes along the way?
Yes and no. I'm documenting it from a standpoint to where I'm recording it, but when you're creating the infrastructure from start to finish, from concept to end, you really don't have time to document. You have to implement someone to actually do that documentation.
Right, but I'm just kind of curious because I'd love to be a voyeur on how that's going together. I just spoke to someone today who told me about this consortium of Black farmers that are hemp growers. They're exclusively hemp growers. So I find that totally fascinating.
Well, when you look at the industry, you have the tea industry and you have the hemp industry. The hemp industry is way more lucrative, more rewarding, and at the same time, there's no federal prohibition for the byproducts of it as well.
All right. Well, bless you, many blessings, and yeah.
We'll come back to Zenobia and talk about finance. Gaetano, tell us about your stuff.
Yes, Reginald, thank you. Good evening, everyone. So my name is Gaetano Lardiri. I have a biotech startup based here in Newark, New Jersey. I spent 26 years in cancer research, retired from that space, been in the cannabis space about 5 years. I have a project, our main project is NAN 108, and it's a project. I have a senior scientist in my incubator who has a formulation for synthesizing cannabinoids in the lab. And I'm working right now to raise funding to get him in the lab for a proof of concept.
Outstanding. We're actually doing a pitch event, Cannabis Pitch Live virtual. We'll announce the date tomorrow, and we're looking at early August. I'll shoot you an email and keep you in the loop. Make sure you email me so I get that first opportunity to be on the list.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Interesting project. Zenobia, tell us about the state of money in the cannabis space. But the state of money, period.
Oh, well, it's all over the place. Everybody's everywhere. It's like, you can't herd these cats. But I don't know, it's pretty much the same that I've said over the last couple of weeks in terms of projects are getting funded. The Series C levels seem to be doing really well with getting projects funded. Those are the ones that are like 20 million, 10 million, 30 million, the bigger dollars. I see those flying around quite a bit. On the lower end, the lower spectrum, again, they're kind of cautious and they're really looking to see some kind of revenue. So unless you have a business model that is like crazy, crazy tight, unique, yeah, you'll be in a lot of Zoom conversations. Not that it can't be done, but you really, really have to be on your game and your team as well. So yeah, so that's about it. I can still try to help people to get lines of credit, unsecured, but those are based on your personal credit profile. So I would just say to you that it's still possible to do if you haven't messed up your credit yet, or you got some of the PPP funds that now some of those can be used outside of payroll. If you want to try and clean up your credit a little bit on the personal side, well, if you're paying yourself as an officer of the corporation or employee of the corporation, then you can turn around and use that. I'm just suggesting that pay attention to your personal credit, or if you have a partner that you can partner with and have a credit partner that can get you some working capital, then whatever you can get, even if it's 10,000 or 20,000, I'm sure you can find a way to put that to use that will help you to gain the revenue that will not only pay it back, but propel you forward on whatever your mission is. So I'll be happy to have consultations. I'm doing, of course, I can do free consultations to start with to give you some guidance in terms of a path to take. That's it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So, guys, next week on Wednesday, Chef Nikko will have the entire hour. We're going to focus on education and great food. Next month, we're kicking off the Cannabis Pitch Live event. We're working on capital. And we had an ESI pitch event 2 weeks ago. So I'm in conversations with a lot of these money people. And I want to connect the dots with as many of our regulars at all possible, right? Want to be first on the list. So, guys, short meeting today. Let's keep it moving, keep it grinding. It's always finding the path to cash and finding the lane that's successful for you. Doesn't matter what anybody else does. Appreciate you guys for being on. Having a fantastic day, fantastic week. And let's go make some money. We'll see you all next Tuesday for Cannabis Pitch Live.
Crazies and wear your mask.
Oh, please.
Tell it, Reggie. Tell it like it is, Reggie.
You gotta be real, baby. Be real. Say the mask is the first line of defense. Actually, I even have somebody has mask that kills the bacteria or the fungus or whatever they call it. When it hits the mask, it just kills the trash. So there's some amazing technology out there. Some amazing things happening. You just don't want to be the person trying to fight your way into Walmart. Peace, love, and happiness. We're out. Great day. Great information. Shoot me an email, everybody, so you're first in the loop of what's happening over the next couple of weeks. Great job again, Nikko. Chef Nikko.
Great job.
It's always a pleasure taking care of you guys. Looking forward to the next round.
Take care.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Night.
All right. Take care now.
Good night. I'm tired.